NFT booking platform.
What's up, guys?
How y'all doing?
I'm good.
Lucas?
Guys, thank you guys for being here. I just wanted to give a shout out to Shinju for putting all this on. It's really incredible to be out here. A lot of really incredible minds out here today. We're excited to be here. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit with Matt and Blake here about our Web3 booking platform that we're putting together, our NFT membership card, the community that we're putting together, and some of the utilities behind our NFT. Matt and Blake, you guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves and how we got here?
Yeah, sure. I'll jump in. My name is Matt Robertson. I'm the co-founder of Black Box Collective. And we came here today the problem we're trying to fix is to lower the price of private jet charter flights. And what we've built with the help of our charter jet partner Fly Exclusive is a new NFT-based charter membership and a booking platform and mobile app that streamlines a charter jet's operation to lower the cost for them, thus lowering the cost for our members in that same process. And what we bring to the table is mine and Blake's industry experience. Me being a 14-year airline pilot myself, Blake being in the parts business for longer than that. Blake, give them a little context on how we got to this point today and a little background on yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Blake Powers. I grew up in the aviation industry or aviation business and around flying my entire life. I started flying when I was a kid, got my fixed wing license when I was 17, got my helicopter license when I was 19, went to Auburn University, graduated with a aviation and business degree. And actually that's when me and Matt met. We've been best friends ever since. But yeah, going back to your other question, my original goal, since I kind of got in and started dabbling with crypto and really more so with NFTs, was to merge the aviation industry and blockchain together, because aviation is kind of my passion, and I see so much potential with the blockchain and NFTs and stuff. So I think it first started, Matt, when we had bought VFriends and we were talking about the utility behind it. And I was just so happened to be at like the world's largest aviation conference in Vegas. And I was around a lot of charter companies, and I was able to kind of like start up conversation with them after me and Matt talked. We talked about, doing several different things with starting an NFT and then having, putting together these maybe communities or putting together a couple of flights for certain NFT projects, flying them to conferences and back, and then how could we all put this together? And it really just kind of went from there, I would say.
Yeah, it's funny.
It snowballed for
Yeah,
sure.
It's funny how quickly it kind of happened. It went from the idea phase of actually could we fractionalize a membership like this to finding the perfect private jet charter company that they were already crypto friendly and Fly Exclusive, to sitting here today with a full-fledged platform and mobile app that really can revolutionize this charter industry.
Yeah, and Fly Exclusive is our first official partner. They're one of the top 5 U.S. operators. They're a well-known jet charter. They're really excited to onboard our platform as it rolls out. And so, I mean, like the path is clear, and we're really here to just kind of spread the word about what we're doing and how we can really change, the standard in the aviation game and integrate blockchain for jet charters all around the world, right? Matt, I want to talk to you a little bit about what the membership model looks like with a typical jet charter and how we're differing that with our NFT model.
Yeah, so currently today in the charter market, what you would see if you were a retail customer and you wanted to go out and get a membership to a charter company, you're going to pay upfront initiation fees of $75,000, $85,000. And then $1,200 a month, and that's before you even set foot in an airplane. That just gives you the privilege to go and book and then pay for, you still got your daily rates and hourly fees and all of this, so it's incredibly expensive. So what we're doing with our NFT-based membership is we have already took away the initiation fees and monthly dues. No, you wouldn't have to pay that. The only fee that you're going to pay is for our NFT, and it's 1.95 ETH. Right, and that's a lifetime access to our platform. It gives you access to our community that we're building, and I mean it's transferable. Like if the current pass that you have now or the market. You buy a 25-hour jet card now, you can't transfer those hours to anyone. And with what we have as NFT, you can transfer it, you can sell it. So it's an improvement over the current market in price and the functionality of an NFT.
Absolutely. And I mean, on top of that, holding the NFT grants you access to the growing list of benefits that we're putting together through the more partnerships that we establish as we go on, right? I mean, people that we meet here might know people that have a jet charter or are looking to facilitate, blockchain integrations for their company. And we can help them out with that with our platform. And we're here to provide that ease of access for a gray area that's really coming up in the world. I want to talk a little bit with you, Blake, about our experience in traveling on a jet. We took a trip to the Bahamas, and it really put in our face a lot of the areas that we could really dial in to streamline on the user end, right? How's the user experience, and what can we do to bring that up to par with really what it should be? You're paying for a private jet. You shouldn't be having to deal with documentations, the stresses of gathering your whole party stuff. Blake was the one to deal with all that, man.
And that, I'll kind of go to the backstory to that. So we had just kind of started this business / project, and I wanted to start it off by bringing all our team members together. And since we had just formulated a partnership with Fly Exclusive, they kind of offered us a special deal to go out and kind of do like a little like a team building exercise in the Bahamas. And we were talking to one of the big resorts out there about a giveaway and partnering up with them on some media stuff. But what happens is now you book a charter jet. When you do that, you have to like get with all your passengers as the party that's booking the jet. And this is a VIP service. You would think it's, very hands off. It should be streamlined, but it's not. I had to actually go and get everybody, all 6 of our passengers, I had to get their vaccine card copy. I had to get a copy of that, had to get a copy of their passport, a copy of their negative COVID test, had to get their weights, their baggage weights. But I had to call all of them, and it took me like a day just to even get in touch with them, then get their information. Then I had to formulate all the stuff in another email, and then send that to Fly Exclusive, and then we were good. But it took like 2 days to do that. And what we're doing is through our Web3 app, it eliminates that basically. We've got a companion process to where when you go in and connect to your wallet and you add your companion,
your user profile.
User profiles. Those are stored. So the next time you go and click in and you go to book a flight, those are already there. They're there and they're ready to go.
Yeah,
you can click it and say, okay, this guy's going. This, my wife's going. My kids are going, and it also plays into the payment platform.
But I mean, overall, what it does is it reduces friction on the user end for what they have to do to get from point A to point B. But there's a backside to that, right? So we're also the platform that's tying in all of the jet charter operations and streamlining their communications. And as it works right now, the commercial airline industry runs efficiently because they're all in one network of communication and it's all in one stop. That doesn't exist for a jet charter market. It's all small groups communicating with each other, 5 lines of phone calls before one action gets completed. There's a lot of opportunity.
We're like the first booking platform right now,
but what we're doing is we're streamlining that information. It doesn't apply
to anything, no rental cars or rental properties or any of that stuff. And we're looking at spreading out, but right now we're focusing on the aviation stuff because we know aviation.
Yeah. So piggybacking on the platform or on the profiles that Blake was talking about, it was a huge pain in the ass for him and us. So we fixed that part where you upload the documents at onboarding one time. You don't have to do it again. You can easily access it if you need it again. But the unique thing about our profiles is our system does is it sorts and separates all the users based on their home city. So that allows for automated alerts through our mobile companion app, our local plug app, where when a flight is booked from from these 2 cities, the people that are located, like I'm from Atlanta, if I booked a flight from Atlanta to New York, Atlanta and New York groups would both get that notification saying, all right, there's an opportunity now that you can share the flights together. That's what we're doing, is bringing together a community based on where you live to give the opportunity to share the flights per seat. That's nothing that's not being done today. you can't pay for a jet. You have to, like, if you
well,
when you book it, you pay.
40%
Yeah.
of private flights in the air are
Yeah.
empty.
Well,
They
the
have
char-
to account for the flight to get you and the flight to come back to where it's from. And our platform provides an avenue for all of these flights
collaboration,
to lay out where everybody's going and provide an opportunity for, if anybody's there, to capitalize on the discount and help out both the jet charter and the member, right? So we're filling that gap on both ends in a very niche way, but it works.
The thing is, jet charter companies really don't have any incentive to hook their community or even formulate a community, because and I don't fault them for this, but there's a potential way to make it way more accessible to fly private with Black Box Collective.
Yeah, the sharing.
And that is right now, jet charter companies, they want to sell that second leg. They don't want to share the daily rate. Like, they don't want they want another customer sharing with another customer, because that's like $6,000 out of their pocket that they could have made before. So they have no incentive to do that, because that's money made out of their pocket. So we don't do that.
To piggyback off that, Blake, you said accessibility, and that's the biggest part about what we're offering. And you're a prime example of how you've been able to use that accessibility to private jets to push your business, right?
Yeah.
And I want to tap in with you about how you've been able to grow your business and network, and also how private jets can come in handy in terms of emergency situations and different kind of medical needs that we can help our members get out of if they're in situations.
Yeah, those are both good areas to talk about. I mean, me personally, as a businessman, I've owned 2 companies and for over a decade, and I can tell you, to put your face in 3 different meetings, like personal meetings in a day, and still be home for dinner with your kids and your wife, and be able to follow up in your office like about those meetings and seal those deals. And I've been able to do that multiple times. Obviously, there's times where it doesn't make sense financially to have that, private jet or the means to travel around.
But
so
that's
quickly.
the gap that we're filling.
Yeah, and then go into the emergency thing. I mean, aside from like the benefits, like such as not having to go through a commercial airport and wait in lines and wear a mask the entire time you're in an airplane, that kind of sucks. Now, I'm not saying wearing masks is a bad thing. That's completely up to each person, but I don't like wearing masks in an airplane, and right now you got to wear it the entire time. So those are the real obvious ones. The other one that we're really speaking of is the medical part. There's a thing called med flights. It's they have obviously helicopters. You get in a car accident, you get picked up and taken to a hospital. We'll have that, and it comes with our membership, which is awesome. We've already teamed up with a company out of South Florida that basically, if one of our members is out of the country, they get hurt, sick, need surgery, and we have a 1-800 number, and I don't know if it's posted on the website.
Literally just got posted up, or it's getting posted.
I think
today.
it is.
James
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
But you call the 1-800 number, and we get right on it, and we'll get you back to the States or whatever remote location you're at. We'll get you to a place where you can get some
And I mean,
help.
coming out of the past couple of years in the pandemic, a lot of things have come forth, and a lot of people have been put in situations that were really unpredictable. And I myself found myself, I went on a 9-day trip to Australia, spring break 2020, before the pandemic had hit. And it was on the 5th or 6th day of this 9-day trip that I took, where the Australian government suspended international travel, grounded all flights, and I was told I was not allowed to leave for an indefinite and continuous amount of time. And it turns out Australia suffered through some of the hardest and longest lockdowns in the world, and I ended up being stuck there for 16 months. 9-day trip, you know what I mean? I was stuck there 500 days. I had no idea when I'd be able to leave or how I'd be able to leave. When the avenue came to buy a flight from the commercial airlines, I had a $250 credit that was returned to me, and I was positioned to purchase a $10,000 one-way flight home. And the entire 16 months I was there, I couldn't work, I couldn't study, I was in lockdown. So the Australian government had no answers for me. The American embassy had no answers for me. It was a gray area. So to be able to come out of that situation and get here and start on this project and get to the point where
It's ironic that you're actually working with us.
We can fill that
though,
gap. I spent 16 months sitting there banging my head
Look
on the
at the
wall.
upside, though. You met your wife.
How would I ever, and the only
You
reason
met
that I
your
made
wife,
it through is
though.
because I was visiting a beautiful woman, and I ended up marrying her and moving her back here with me. So, I made lemonade out of my lemons. But That's the thing. I'm happy. I'm happy to be able to. Thank you. I'm happy to be able to fill in that gap, man, because it was an impossible solution. You know what I mean? Like, how would I ever be able to come out of a situation like that and then even position the idea like, hey, we could help somebody out that's in that position? Or even further than that, if anybody's in a domestic medical emergency, an international medical emergency, we're that line of support when realistically, like, nobody has an answer for you, you know?
Yeah, look, I want to say something. We're here not to really sell anything per se. Obviously, we'd love to sell some memberships, but we're here to collaborate with everybody. This is an interesting community. Everybody in this room, and I've been to a couple of these small conferences. This is awesome just to talk to everybody, and it's just a lot of like-minded people. So.
We're providing that community for empathy to grow, this community for everybody to collaborate, for everyone to have, a resource and a tool that promotes traveling. I myself have spent the past 6 years of my life dedicated to traveling, seeing new places, meeting new people, and it's given me more experience and more of like the best stories than anything else that I could have done. We're providing an avenue to open up traveling for more people at a more economic rate, a safer rate. You're not dealing with, putting yourself at risk. And it's opening up the avenue for crypto.
Yeah, and value, Web3, as you can see, value is community-based in Web3, right? And it's all about the network that we create within this community. And one thing that my granddad told me as a kid, he was an avid golfer. He would always go out to the golf course, and he told me, he was like, the business deals always happen at the golf course. That's why I go out there. That's why I love doing it. And he was a businessman and whatever. So he built a golf course just for the reason he told me. He said he built the golf course just because the business deals are going to come to him. All the businessmen are going to be there. So this right here is kind of like the golf course for me that I'm building, because all the innovators that can see the use in a product like what we're offering, lowering the cost, where before it's so far out of range, nobody even thinks that private flights are accessible to most people, right? So what we're doing is we're lowering the cost in such a way that if you couldn't do it before, it's kind of reasonable now. You're like, okay, we can pay per seat. We can take these flights that the charter companies offer up at discounts because they're, selling them for much cheaper, because otherwise they would have had to reposition this airplane over
and front
empty.
The cost.
Yeah.
Front the cost,
and so it's spreading out the cost. All these upfront fees are based off the inefficient systems that they use now. So
Definitely.
we're fixing the inefficient systems with some of these airline. I've been in the airline for 14 years, and I know how they make things efficient. So I'm bringing some of those tricks over to the charter industry now. It's going to lower the cost down so much that now it's going to be affordable for most people. And the type of people that I want to attract is all you guys, all the people that are building in this space and the innovators in Web3, and just trying to tap into the community portion where all the value is gained.
For sure.
That we're all seeing emerge in front of our eyes now.
Definitely.
Speaking of business deals, one thing, so right now we've just got an NFT, and that just represents our membership. We tried to create something pretty cool as far as the NFT goes, but we do have plans to do some maybe gamification stuff, and I'd like to talk to somebody like Sandbox. We're not really here to buy property or land, but I'd like to talk about maybe getting some airspace stuff and like
doing
an airplane portion.
Yeah.
And we want to do some charity stuff, and I think there'd be a really good way to maybe do some charity stuff to where we could have like a mission, like obviously create an NFT like airplanes or whatever, and then have some stuff where we have like a food drive for a certain, land or whatever, where like the members could go in and like do a drop, but like somehow figure out a way to either purchase the airspace or team up with some of these metaverses and create like an outlet for charity and have like a gamification part. Because like I said, we do airplanes. I know there's a lot of other, as far as being the first booking platform, there's a lot of other avenues we could go down in the future. But I think right now we'd like to stick to the aviation part and focus on that. And once we've conquered, we could look at, maybe doing fleets of Teslas, or whether it be vacation properties or something like that. But yeah, no, we're stoked, and we appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to us. And I do want to speak about partnerships. We have another big partner in the room. Greg,
Yeah,
he's
so
with
Greg,
Chainwave. They're building our platform. Greg, you mind saying something about your about us or about?
Try and get that mic there if you want.
Perfect. Hey, thank you for coming. Shinju, is she in the room? I'm here. I want to thank you for throwing an amazing event. I've been to over 50 of these and done a spectacular job. Thanks for having us. So Chainwave is helping them develop their project with the engineers. Brief 20 seconds about us is we basically take entrepreneurs on chain. We help entrepreneurs take their idea from first iteration and get it on chain. We're the best MVP builders. Is that paradigm, great, fast, cheap. We're great and fast. So we're Chainwave. I'm here to talk about Black Box. I get pitched 15 to 20 projects a week. A lot of them are grandiose, nebulous ideas. They don't have it scoped or niched. These guys, for a lack of a better word, have had their shit together since day one. The idea is amazing. It's gonna work, and it's been a pleasure to work with them because they're professional, they're put together, and they're transparent, which is hard to find in the crypto world, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. These are some of the companies I've worked with, but I personally take the Black Box Collective as a passion project for myself, not just based on my relationship with these guys, but based on the idea and where it's going, because this is big and it's gonna work. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say.
We're setting a new standard in the aviation industry, right? And we're wanting to position ourselves as almost like the premier option for any crypto flying or any crypto related event. We want to be able to facilitate flights and be able to cover that gap in the airspace for the crypto community.
Appreciate you guys listening today.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank y'all.
It's good.